Serbian president slams USAID for inciting regime change, demands journalists say how much money his outlet has received. This comes from Liz Heflin over at Remix. We've got it cross-posted over at Infowars.com. But I'm going to cut to the important part because, yes, he's speaking very kindly about President Trump, all that good stuff, noting to his audience, the audience of his people, that President Trump called them out by name. And this was apparently very embarrassing and enlightening to him. But let's get to this part. Vucic admitted during his TV interview that money has been received and used, but primarily for, quote, senseless projects that were supposed to cover their eyes, while the real intent of most funding was to overthrow the government. Asked about the many videos of himself and other officials thanking USAID for funding projects, Vucic said that when someone gives you €1,000, it is up to you to still politely say thank you. When he then indicated that the money was spent on equipping Serbian courts with various recording devices, microphones, and other things. Again, this is money that's coming from USAID that's supposed to be, humanitarian aid. Let's get the LGBTQIA plus opera going in wherever. No, that's not what the money is for. That's not what our tax dollars were wasted on. They were used for the sake of the Central Intelligence Agency and their puppet masters in the deep state to engage in statecraft, to engage in any form of control that they could initiate as a result of cash, because that's what USAID was for. It is the cash distribution wing of the deep state. That's what they were doing. In the last 4 years, back to the article. In the last 4 years, according to Vucic, there were 400 million dinar, of which not even 10 million went to the state. Everything went your way for the non-government sector. Oddly, in April of 2024, a few months before USAID's additional $18 million was announced, TRAG and CRTA jointly announced a USAID competition for grants under what they called a mobilization fund program. It's just the corruption of USAID is getting exposed across the board. It's not just Doge. Now that the word is getting out, we're starting to see more people, including world leaders, coming out and saying, yeah, so this is what they were doing. Keep in mind, it's not that people didn't know. It's not that these world leaders or regional leaders or town mayors or whatever across the globe, they knew that it was corruption. They could see it, firsthand. They could see it, hear about it secondhand. They knew exactly what was happening with the money, or at least they knew that it was being used for corrupt purposes. They knew that it was all disguised, but as far as they were concerned, this was all U.S. government sanctioned. It wasn't until Donald Trump. It wasn't until Elon Musk. It wasn't until Marco Rubio. It wasn't until the Trump administration came along and said, hey, this is bad and we don't approve. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, whoa, so that money you guys have been giving not just me, but also giving to my opponents, my adversaries, the press, this cartel, this bad actor. You mean you guys didn't really want that? That was some rogue element within your government? And it's like, yes, it's exactly what we're saying. It's like, oh, well, in that case, let me tell you a little something about USAID. Thank you for watching this clip from the J.D. Rucker Show. Please follow my personal Rumble account. If you haven't already, you can find it at jdrucker.com/rumble, jdrucker.com/rumble.